Hello, this is Judy from Juvenalis Tour and Travel. Welcome back again. So today I'm going to talk about causes that may lead to miss a flight. Causes that may lead to miss a flight ticket, or causes of missing a flight. Missing a flight meaning maybe you're traveling from one country to another and you need to book a flight ticket. So I'm going to talk about things you should consider or things you should do to avoid missing the flight ticket. As you know, once you miss the flight, some tickets they are not refundable, and some they are refundable but not full amount. Some they are only like 50% you will get refunded, but sometimes you might be lucky and then you can get a rescheduled flight and you will be able to travel. So point number one is about, of course, when you're traveling, there's some documents you need, and one of the main documents is your passport. So one of the factors that can make you miss a flight is having invalid passport. For example, if you're traveling from Kenya coming to Dubai, your passport should be 6 months and above valid. If it's below that, you will not be allowed to travel. So in this case, maybe you don't have information that you might think I still have 6 months, right? But you don't know you won't be allowed in the airport, and maybe the person who booked for you the ticket, or if you book by yourself, didn't explain to you that the passport will be considered as a invalid. Okay, and then you might end up missing your flight ticket due to invalid passport. Another thing is lateness in checking in. As you know, every flight ticket, it have its timing where you have to be in the airport 2 to 3 hours before. But I always advise my client to at least go, it's better you check in, you do everything, and then you wait there in the waiting area. Because if your flight is around maybe during the day, of course many people will come the last minute, and then you will end up having a long queue, and there might be you can miss your flight. So keep time. Something else is our dates. Once you get a flight ticket, you need to check the dates, because currently we had a client who we had booked our ticket from Dubai to Nairobi, but it was showing you are going to check in on the 27th, because as you know, the flight ticket shows the time according to 24-hour clock system. So if the ticket is showing that you are going to check in maybe 000 these two semicolon, I don't know, semicolon 00 point is a dots, and then 27, meaning it's past midnight the following day. For example, if we are on the 20, today is on the, what's the date today? 1 minute. Today is on the 14th. For example, if you have a flight ticket showing that you're going to travel past midnight, the date will show on the 15th, meaning you need to check in today on the 14th before midnight. But many people end up missing the flight because they checked the timings wrongly. So we had a client who missed the flight, but fortunately we were able to get him another ticket, because we had booked for him a ticket where you can get a refund in case the client misses a flight. So check the time correctly, and if you're not sure, ask your agents to guide you or inform you exactly what time you should be in the airport. And then something else is about having a luggage. Maybe once you book a flight ticket, of course it will be indicated there how many bags you need to have. Maybe you have 2 bags, and then each should be 23 kgs. For example, if you're traveling it's your first time, maybe you don't have something to measure the weight. So in this case, you end up bringing extra luggages, and then maybe you went in the last minute and you are stranded, you don't know what to do. And then you check in the airport where they tell you when you have an extra kg, the additional amount is too much. which in most cases you cannot afford, or many people cannot afford. Then you get stranded, where to put your luggage, what to do, wasting time, and then you end up missing your flight. That is also a point to consider. And then something else is having invalid documents. Like for example, you know, some agents, they're just scammers, so they will end up giving you a fake visa. That is one of the documents. Maybe you can get a fake visa, or maybe, for example, some time back when people used to get a what is it called, COVID certificate. Some of the people were used to get a COVID certificate from someone, where some were used to be given fake documents. So in this case, if you have a fake document, then immigration, they check, they scan, you will end up missing your flight, because you won't be allowed to travel with fake documents. Okay, also, if the visa is not valid, you won't be able to travel with a fake visa, or the visa is not in the system. In some cases, maybe for those who have residence visas, sometimes you find that the sponsor have canceled the visa without informing the client, because of some of the misunderstanding. Maybe you have gone for vacation and then they just decide to cancel the visa. So in this case, when you are in Nairobi, sometimes they won't be able to see, like, the visa is not in the system. But once you come here, you arrive in Dubai airport, you find that the visa is cancelled already. So you end up going back to your home country if you are not able to get the visit visa within 24 hours. So if you have invalid documents and you're traveling, you might miss your flight. And then also, if you booked a flight ticket and you have a wrong spelling of your names are wrongly spelled, so you should double check when you book your ticket, or an agent book for you a ticket. You should check the spelling on the ticket, if the names are correctly spelled. For example, for us, we Africans, when we want to book a ticket for an Indian, we find their names little bit almost the same, or a little bit complicated with how to pronounce them, how to spell them. But if you're keen, you will do it correctly. So the same way, if you're booking a ticket with an Indian, they will find like maybe 10 and 1 Jiko, they will see like it's the same, but it's not the same. So if you have a wrong spelling, you might end up missing a flight, because they might think it's a different person. And then another point is a flight reschedule with no update. If you book a ticket with an agent and maybe the flight is rescheduled due to other reasons, the agent should inform you that the ticket have been rescheduled, so that you not waste your time. And the agent should inform you like what time the ticket have been rescheduled to what time. Something else is a technical issue. Sometimes you will, once you book the ticket as the agent, you will receive a email showing that the flight have been delayed due to some technical issues, which comes from the airport or the airline. So due to technical issues, this one also, you will end up missing your flight. But of course, this one, it can be solved and you will get the next flight, or they will arrange you another ticket. They will give you another ticket. Something else is forgetting your document, of which many people do. Of course, you know, when you're traveling, there are so many, maybe you're traveling to find a job. Sometimes you are like, already you start to have homesickness if it's your first time to travel. So you might end up forgetting some of the documents. Maybe you can forget your passport back at home, and you know, maybe you're coming from a long distance place. Then you find yourself in a situation where you cannot go back to pick your passport due to the time. So in this case, you can end up missing your flight due to lack of full documents. And then something else is, for example, if for those traveling to Dubai, mostly I'm talking about Dubai because I have more information about it and about tourism and the documents needed. For example, if you're coming to Dubai to find a job, you must have two-ways ticket. In some cases you will have two ways, you will have one way and return dummy, but it's a must to have two-ways ticket. So in some cases, if maybe if the agent decide to scam you, or maybe you have a fake agent, they will book for you one-way ticket, and you will not be allowed to travel without a return ticket, because you are a tourist, you are a visitor going to visit. Of course you need to show a ticket that you will come back. But if you have an employment visa, only one-way ticket is allowed. So in this case, if you don't have the return ticket, you will end up automatic missing your flight. Something else I have noted is, for example, if you have booked two different airlines, for example, you are coming from Dubai, from Nairobi to Dubai, and then maybe you have booked one way, Emirates, and then return you book KQ. In this case, I have noted there is, I don't know, I call it drama or what is it, because you will find that the client won't be allowed to travel without matching tickets. So I had to do some research and find out why it is this so, because both tickets, they are valid. As you know, sometimes you are not able to afford the total amount to book the ticket same time. So maybe in some situation you can afford the money to make a visa, and then once you have the visa, you can find some money, then you book one-way ticket, and then after maybe by good luck you get another money, then you book the return ticket, and maybe you find a different airline is a little bit cheaper, then you decide to book. Unfortunately, once you go to the airport, in most cases they won't allow you to travel. So in this case, I had to ask to find to do a research, why is this so, and I was informed that, for example, if you book Emirates and return KQ, they don't have access to check the other airline, so they will end up thinking maybe this is a dummy ticket. Okay, so I can advise you to book matching tickets. If it's KQ two ways, Emirates two ways, to avoid missing your flight. And then something else is airport rules without update. So for example, you find currently there is this news which was trending about some additional documents which were needed, but you know, it was not officially made for all nationalities, but it was made official for the Indians. So you find there are some people who went in the airport, and then they were asked to show the 3,000 dirhams, or money equivalent to 3,000 dirhams, hotel reservation, and also to show like a return ticket, something like that. And then they didn't have any update that this document is needed, so they ended up missing their flight. That is also another cause. Something else is traffic and accidents. For example, as you know, when you are using transportation by road, you might find that there is an accident on your way to the airport, and then in this case, before the clearance is done on the road, there might be some delay, and then you might end up missing your flight. That's why you should go earlier in the airport to be on the safe side. Something else is bad weather. As you know, sometimes it's raining too much, like last month I think, last month I think, yeah, the rain was too much, and some of the tickets were rescheduled, and some of the people didn't make it to the airport on time, and they ended up missing their flight ticket. Something else is loss of the boarding pass or the passport. We have seen a case where the client goes to the airport on time, do the check-in, everything is perfect, then the client is given the boarding pass, or put together the boarding pass with the ticket and then goes to the waiting area. But you know, in the waiting area you might decide to move up and down, to go to the washroom, to go do some shopping, duty free, and then unfortunately maybe you misplace your passport or the boarding pass. So in this case, if you misplaced either of these documents, you won't be allowed to travel, and then you will end up missing your flight due to lack of complete document. So once you're traveling, make sure you have a bag where you can put your boarding pass and the passport together, so you will be on the safe side. Also, you can take a picture of the boarding pass always when you travel. So that's also another cost. Something else is going to the wrong terminal. As you know, when you're going to a different country, each airline have a specific terminal which is written on the ticket. So once you book a ticket, you make sure the details are correct. You check there is a reference number written, make sure it's visible, your names are correct, the date is correct, check the time, and also check the terminal. So if you are going to use an Uber or you're going to use a taxi, you will be able to check and you will be able to see which terminal, and you will go to the correct terminal to avoid missing your flight. Something else is the last thing is about lack of the printed copies. So sometime back when I was traveling back to Dubai, I was coming back on a visit visa, and my visa was on the phone, everything was on the phone. I didn't have a printed copy, but they didn't allow me to check in, so they asked me I must go print the copies and bring them so that I will be able to check in. But by good luck, I was able to print them, and then I showed them, and I was able to travel, though the price was a little bit expensive, because when you decide to get the printed copies in the airport, the price is a little bit expensive compared to the normal price. So if you're traveling, you need to print the copies and have them printed in a clear form, and then in this case you will be able to travel peacefully. So for more information, you can visit us. We are located in Deira City Center Metro Station behind Day to Day. You will see Centurion Star Building, Block B, 7th floor, office 727, and also we have an office in Nairobi, Kenya. It's located in Westland, Madonna House. Thank you.